Hi, my name is Kaupo, and today I wanted to show you my exchange year scrapbook as I just returned from my exchange year in Sitka, Alaska. So, I just came back 3-4 weeks ago from my exchange year in Sitka, Alaska, which is in Southeast Alaska, and I was there with my program Flex. During the start of my exchange year, I did a little video about how I traveled there and about the first few weeks of the high school there. But then everything started happening so quickly and I didn't do any more videos. So I thought, how should I make a video about my whole exchange year? And as I made a scrapbook for that year that has basically everything that I experienced during that year there, I decided to show it to you. So, at the front, you can see some stickers that are from my exchange year and had kind of an impact on me. So in here, Sitka Whale Fest, where I volunteered, Southeast Alaska Music Fest, which I will talk about later in the video, my town's football club, University of Alaska Southeast sticker, extra tufts, which are rain boots, my school photo, a couple of random stickers, and then my town's official tourism logo. So let's dig in. So I got this album when I graduated 9th grade in here in Estonia. So this is from my grandparents. Right off the bat, we can see that AFS is here, which was my placement organization. The way that my program works is that we get recruited by Flex, which is a US State Department funded program. And then each one of us has different placement organizations which deal with us and our problems during the year. Mine was AFS. Here, one of my best photographs I took during my exchange year, and actually ever, which is a eagle flying. And here, a couple of my friends. So, this is my exchange year album. American flag and then my host city's sticker. In here, we can see pictures that are not taken in the US. Those two are taken in Latvia when we had our pre-departure orientation together with the exchange students from 3 different countries. And here, one of my send-off parties. In here, I said goodbye to my brother and my family, which was in late August. And you can also see that the start of my exchange year in my first video. And here, other Estonian flexers. And this is actually a later picture because it's a Polaroid, it's up here. From All State Music, which I will talk about it later. So here is my first semester bell schedule. I'm sure a lot of you know how the school system works in the United States, but I will briefly describe it to you. So I got the chance to choose 7 different classes. My Sitka High School has 7 different periods during a semester. I chose American Government with Mr. Wayne, Chemistry, Local Jazz, Physical Education, Human Geography, Pre-Calculus, and Creative Writing. During second semester, I switched Chemistry to Metals and PE to Psychology. Those 2 were super fun classes as well. I really enjoyed my classes and I got A in all of them at the end of the school year. And in here, I also have my 2 first tests that I took. This is in American Government. I got a 4 out of 4, which is the best mark. So in here I had to know the basic stuff in government. And in here, this was my math test in pre-calculus. And yeah, I got a 3.6 out of 4 on this test. So moving on. This is where the first video ended. I showed my host family that I had safely arrived with them, and this is me in front of the Sitka High School, my host school. This is our first puzzle completed in my host family. We put, I think, about 7 different puzzles together during this 10 months, during this 1 year. And this is my post-arrival orientation together with other exchange students. She is Samira from Germany, and she is Nadine from Indonesia. These are our 2 coordinators. And here, it's 2 of my school pictures, my school ID, and then a very nice letter from my homeroom and music teacher when I arrived at the school. You can pause and read it. And here, this is my basically second post-arrival orientation together with all the Southeast Alaska AFS exchange students. So there were 7 of us. This is also from there. This was my first football game, actually also the only one. And this was my first volleyball game. In here, we went whale watching together with a Brazilian exchange student, Indonesian exchange student, German exchange student, and Kyrgyzstan exchange student. Yes, we did see some whales. I sadly don't have any good pictures, but here is one picture that I was able to take. And these 2 are when I went hiking in the area. Hiking was probably the funnest thing I had during my exchange year. Maybe apart from music, but yeah, hiking in Alaska, that's awesome, especially in the mountains, considering that I live in a super flat country, Estonia. So those 2 hikes were together with my local coordinators. This is a gift card from my town's best coffee shop, Fish High, and I got it when I got selected to be Siin Student of the Week. Siin is a native term describing power to be basically a good person. I got chosen to be the Student of the Week. And then I got this $10 gift card from the school. Here we came back from the previous hiking picture, or the hiking trip. This was Southeast Honor Choir in Craig, Alaska. So I participated in 2 different honor choirs. One was Southeast Honor Choir and another one was All State Honor Choir. To be able to participate in those and sing in them, you need to audition, which I did, and then I got in because I sang 10 years here in Estonia. So yeah. And I also joined the vocal jazz group in Kahai. So yeah, it was super fun. Here, just another picture of me looking into the gorgeous mountains that we don't have here in Estonia. Here we can see Sitka Whale Fest lecture pass. So my program requires a number of volunteer hours. My placement organization required 25, so I had to do 25 of them. And this was one of my first volunteering jobs. And yeah, I was just the usher for those lectures. Nothing hard, I got to see the lectures. At the end, I completed 40 hours of volunteering. Here is Halloween. As we all know that Halloween is a big part of US culture, and it is super fun to experience it. And here all of the exchange student in my town, we did a presentation to the community about their own countries, and I did one about Estonia as well, and about ourselves. And this is the all-state honor choir that I was talking about. It happened in Anchorage, which is the biggest city in Alaska. It was super fun to travel and be together with Alaska's best musicians. It was super fun and super cool experience. And I definitely recommend it if you live in Alaska, which maybe some of you do who watch it. This was the turkey trot. It was a 5 kilometer run I completed during Thanksgiving period. This is my number from it. It's number 350. Here was again a picture from Allstate Music. This was my first Thanksgiving together with my host family. We had big Thanksgiving dinner, of course, with turkey. This is again me with the mountains. This was ushering again for a performance. I did quite a lot of ushering. Most of my volunteer hours came from ushering, which was super fun. And this was making gingerbread cookies or Christmas cookies together with my host family. So during Christmas break, my host family invited me to Texas with them and to celebrate Christmas with their family. And it was a super fun experience. Austin, Texas was so different from Sitka, Alaska, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm so thankful that they took me with them to the other part of the country. Those 3 pictures are as well from Texas when I visited it with my host mother. This is a picture from vocal jazz performance. So I sang in a group called Vocal Jazz, which you could also see from my bell schedule. This was a group of 8 people, so we sang together mostly jazz tunes, some other tunes as well, and yeah, it was just a different way to approach choir music. In here, another Christmas puzzle together with my host dad. So Alaska is very big in sports and hiking and surfing and those kind of things. So in here I went boogie boarding on Christmas Eve with my local coordinator. It was super fun. It was not cold because I wore a wetsuit. So yeah, it was super fun and I definitely recommend it. It is also my first time in the ocean ever. So yeah, Pacific Ocean, Scene. Here I went hiking again to Mount Verstovia, which is a very beautiful and scenic hike in Sitka. It was super fun and snowy, obviously. It's in the mountains. Here another picture of Verstovia. So in here I had Secret Santa party with other exchange students from my city. We were all together and we shared gifts. In here you can see Winter Ball with Mr. Wayne, who I already mentioned. He was a super cool teacher who taught me government and later psychology and also was the mock trial coach, which I will also talk about later. This was my snowman that I did during the first snow period. We had about a week of snow. It wasn't like crazy stereotypical Alaska, where you would imagine it would snow 24/7, 365 days a year. It didn't. It was pretty normal weather. It was super rainy. My island was part of the rainforest that is in the southeast, and also it was an island, so it was naturally warmer as well. This one is also from the Winter Ball, and this one was during basketball regions. I got invited to play the cowbell for the band. There was Valentine's Day. I got 2 Valentine's Day cookies from my host family, which was super cool. This was for Vaslabav, which is like that in English. I made those kind of desserts for my host family, which is like an Estonian tradition to do them. And here I have a picture together with Estonian organ. So I got a call one day that there was an Estonian organ in town in the Lutheran church. So they invited me over, we took a picture and we talked about Estonia and from their side how the organ got there. So in here there is information about that organ, and yeah, it was manufactured in Estonia in 1844 and then shipped over to Sitka, my host town, in 1846. It was super fun to see an Estonian music instrument all the way in Southeast Alaska, 4,000 miles away. It was cool. And here we exchange students went to view the Elizabeth Bratcheridge Day Parade. She was a civil rights activist who fought for native rights. Here I was volunteering again with Nadine, who was the Indonesian exchange student. And in here I went to the local radio station and I played Estonian music on the radio for Sitka people. They really enjoyed it. The feedback was awesome. And in here, Southeast Alaska exchange students went to Juno, which is the capital of Alaska. We had our mid-year orientation there. And when we went to the state legislature to meet our city's representatives and senators, then there was also Mary Peltola there, who is the Alaska representative in the United States Congress. It's super cool to meet her, and a big politician who has quite a lot of influence. Here are other pictures from Juno when we went there. So this is the Sitka senator in the Alaska legislature. This is in front of the Alaska state capitol. This was when we got introduced on the floor. And these are also just pictures from Juno. Every guest got introduced by their city's legislator, but I wasn't.
And Representative Gray?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will Kaupo Pir please stand in the Paratrovich Gallery? Kaupo is participating in the Future Leaders Exchange Program, scholarship program. Kaupo is a mock trial attorney. He was also chosen to attend the upcoming week-long civic education workshop in Washington, D.C., and he will be trying out for track this spring. Kaupo is from Tartu, Estonia, which is the second largest city in Estonia, the university city of Estonia. And will everyone please stand and welcome our exchange students, and particularly Kaupo. Tere tulemast Alaskale.
Brief at ease.
I was introduced by an Anchorage representative. And the reason to that is because Andrew Gray, who is an Anchorage representative, has a history with Estonia. He lived in Estonia, and a couple of days before, when we had our Independence Day, he did a speech about Estonia, which was very awesome to look at, and it even made it to the news.
And for those Estonian families who lost a loved one in service to Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, there is a hole in their hearts that will never be filled, and they will never forget it. And I will never forget it either. I want Estonia to know that we Americans respect our treaties, we keep our word, we thank them for their sacrifice, and we will repay it if and when the time comes. To not do so is unfathomable to me. On the 106th anniversary of their independence, I want Estonia to hear that, Madam Speaker. With your indulgence, I would like to try to say a few words in Estonian. I will identify myself. I will explain that the Estonian people are an inspiration, and I will wish them a happy Independence Day.
Without objection.
Tervist Eesti. Olen Alaska osariigi esindajatekoja liige Andrew Gray ja pärdän te poille esindajatekoja saalist. Eesti muld ja Eesti süda on meille kõigile inspiratsiooniks. Mina armastan sind, Eestimaa. Palju õnne vabariigi aastapäevaks. Aitäh, Madam Speaker.
So this is the article of Andrew Gray, who's a representative in the Alaska State Legislature. He lived in Estonia from 1999 to 2001. Yeah, it was super fun to meet him, as a couple of days before I first heard about him from the news. So here I said goodbye to Amira, who had a shorter program. She went home after the first semester, so some programs are just like that. And in here, there are also pictures from Juno. We did some volunteering, and this is in front of the ice glacier. This picture is from Washington, D.C., and I will talk about it further now. So with my program, Flex, every exchange student can apply to a week-long civic education workshop or civic education week in Washington, D.C. This is happening in spring and 200 students got chosen for it. So I applied and I got selected to be in one of those groups who had the experience to be there. So we, of course, went to the White House, to the different memorials and different museums. So within those 200 people, there are very many different countries because my program is in, I think, about like 20 countries now. So yeah, there were people from all over the Eurasia there. There are some Georgians here and Latvians, Azerbaijanis, Lithuanians, other Estonians. So it's all over the place. And these are other Estonians who also got chosen to be in this workshop. We also visited the capital, so we also went to the Senate and the House of Representatives and their galleries. So we had to get also gallery passes, of course, be appropriate, from our state representatives and senators. So we had meetings with their assistants or with them. I got meetings with their assistants, and then I got a gallery pass for the United States House of Representatives gallery, which is signed by Mary Peltola, who we also met previously in Juno. And then gallery pass to the Senate, signed by Senator Lisa Murkowski. And this is my name tag for the workshop. We also visited American Councils, which is the institution that is basically the supervisor of flags. This is in front of the Capitol with some Estonians. This is in the State Department, which this program is founded. And this is also in front of the White House. Again, State Department, Capitol, in front of the Alaska State Legislator Lisa Murkowski's office, and again in the Capitol Visitor Center. So in here there are some more pictures from DC. This was in the Library of Congress. This is again in front of the White House, in front of the Martin Luther King Memorial. All of the exchange students in my school got recognized by the school board, and here there is a piece from the Sitka Sentinel, which is the local newspaper. So here there's half an article from that. You can pause and read it. And in here there is a picture when we got the award in front of the school. There was also a pretty rainbow there. In here there are 2 evidence stickers which were given to me for the mock trial competition. So mock trial competition is a school activity that basically, at least in my school, everybody could participate in, and you simulate the court trial. So half of the people are attorneys and half of them are witnesses. I was an attorney, and we also went to state with it, also to Anchorage. So in here there is a picture of the whole Sitka High team and my certificate. We also got 2 pet birds for my host family during my stay, and this was celebrating Easter and coloring eggs. This was my fishing license that I bought at the end of the year. There's a picture also later here. I had to buy a license to fish for one day. It was $15. Here are more pictures from mock trial state championships. This was in the hotel, and this was in the courtroom. And this is my paper plate award that I got given by the team. So I was best on their feet thinker. And this was a letter for a Letterman jacket with a cowbell pin. Here, there's a sticker from Southeast Alaska Music Fest. So Music Fest is a festival that all the region music students come together to, and they play their instrument or sing. So I was also there with my vocal jazz group. It happened in Sitka, so we didn't have to travel. And here are some pictures from it. So those 2 pictures. So this was my group of 8 people who I sang with. And this is again from the mock trial state champs, and this was at the courthouse. So there was also the Alaska Supreme Court there, and the final trial which one of Sitka teams went to and won state championships. That trial was held there. This is the program for my last concert, which was the spring concert. So those 3 songs were the ones that we sang. And here are the names from my group. And this is a picture from it. Prom. Prom is basically a spring dance that is a very big deal in the United States. It's meant for upperclassmen, so juniors and seniors. I was a junior, so I was able to go together with the exchange students. There were 3 of us there, so she and the Brazilian exchange student. And this is one of my local jazz classmates. This was my outfit for prom. It was super fun, and I definitely recommend to you to go to different dances for homecoming, which I didn't go to because I was at Allstate, to winter ball and to prom. You gotta go. Those are super fun and you don't want to miss out on those. And we're already at the end of my year. So this was one of my luggage tags when I flew back home. It's so rough because airlines, you know. So this was from Alaska Airlines. Here, there are 2 pictures from the end of stay orientation that was also in Sitka, together with the Southeast Alaska exchange students. We were waiting for other people to load their boat. I was also part of the track team. Here's a picture from that. I was fine. I didn't do track back home. I did badminton. So yeah, I decided to try it out. It was fun. And here we dressed up for the graduation parade that was happening in town. Me as an eagle. It was so hilarious that it was like, it was just so fun to cheer for those people, and all the 3 of us who were exchange students, we knew that our time was coming to go back to our countries, and it's just a fun way to end the school year. And here there is the last check I got. So I got a stipend money for every 2 months. Here I went kayaking during my last week with my local coordinator or liaison. It was interesting because I had never been kayaking before. I mean, it was super enjoyable and it wasn't luckily that windy. It was just rainy, which was fine. Yeah, here I am, all alive. And these are pictures from the last day of the school. These are my 3 teachers. There are 2 more pictures on the other side. This is my math teacher, Mr. Meyer, who I had pre-calculus with. This is my music teacher, who I had homeroom and local jazz with. And this was my AP Human Geography teacher. This is Mr. Wayne, who was my mock trial coach, psychology and government teacher. And this is Mr. Pike, who was my metals teacher. And those 2 pictures are taken last day at the school, in front of the school. Obviously I need to take a picture, just like I had the picture on my first day in the school, also a last one. And this was me in front of the Estonian flag, because my school put up one of the exchange students' flags. They had like a big array of flags. This was the time I went fishing, so that's what the license was for. I caught a couple of rockfishes, sadly didn't catch any salmon. This is the goodbye with my host family. It was sad to leave them. And this is in front of the airport. And those 2 pictures are together with the Estonian flag and the Alaskan flag, which is also here, which were taken during my farewell parties, which were together with other exchange students. So there was a community one and there was one for my friends. And this is already when I was back at home. So this was my boarding pass when I flew here. This is in Tallinn airport, which I flew to in Estonia. And this is already me in front of my home back here. And in here there are notes to me from my friends and from the people who I know who decided to write for me. Well, I did give them the book and the pen, so I can afford it. But yeah, it was super nice of them to write me some of those nice things. And here, for a last picture, is my local jazz performance, which was probably the winter concert. And in here, I have 2 luggage tags for 2 of my bags when I flew home. So my journey from back home. And this one is a goodbye to Alaska, because flew out of here. I went fishing as well. I love aviation. Alaska is forever in my heart. In conclusion, I had a very, very fun and enjoyable exchange year. I am so thankful for everybody who supported me during my year, who hung around with me, who I went to performances and hiking together with, who I sang together, who I studied together with. And I definitely recommend everybody who has considered becoming an exchange student to actually do it. It's such a fun experience. You need to do it. If you have the opportunity to do it, and if you really want to invest yourself and you feel like you will be able to make it to the end, because some of the exchange students just can't make it and return home, which is totally fine. Like, it's not for everybody, but I still recommend everybody to go on an exchange and see a different part of the world and grow on your own as a human being. If you can't go in high school, go in college, go during the summer for a couple of months. Just see the world, travel if you are able to. It was a life-changing experience. If you want to know more about all of those different things that I showed here, I also have my blog that I updated for all of those 9 months, which is travelwithkaupo.com, and you can find it also in the description. I will leave it there. And also my Instagram, I updated it quite a lot and I will continue to update it. I will also write one more blog post to highlight the biggest things that happened during my exchange year. But for now, thank you for watching and goodbye. Who